Welcome to Cedar Cove Farms. Today I wanted to go over a little bit about tractors, some of the main features on tractors. If you're like me, you didn't grow up around anything this big, so I want to try and share what some of the common terms are and features on tractors that you might have on your homestead. All right, so on the front of the machine, we'll start there. You've got your loader. Pretty much every compact tractor you'll see on a homestead, you'll want the loader. It's a huge help. The main part you've got is your bucket. These come in various sizes, but you can move dirt, rocks, mulch, grade things. It's a great feature. On some of the higher end loaders, you'll have what's called a mechanical self-level indicator. That's this rod here. And you'll see in the video from the cab, there's a white stripe on here. So I can see when I'm in the cab that bucket is level. So if you're carrying a load of dirt, of rock, you don't have to try and guess when your bucket's level or if you're scooping something out of the dirt. The other big feature you want to look for on a tractor is some kind of quick attach bucket. So there's really two main kinds you'll see in the industry. There's the John Deere style, which we have. So you've got this little hook that the loader hooks into, and then there's a pin down at the bottom, down here. That's the John Deere style, or there's the skid steer style that all the other manufacturers use, where you'll have two levers in the center that lock the bucket into place. You really want to have a quick change bucket. The older style pin-on buckets, you can't remove them very easily. It's a pain. For us, we've got a bucket, we've got pallet forks, they make all kinds of other attachments. So you want to make sure that it's easy to switch out between different front end equipment attachments. As we move around to the side of the tractor, there's not as much interesting things, but there's a couple key features that you'll look for. The first one is actually this pin here on the side of the tractor. There's one on either side, actually lets me pull the loader off of the tractor. So if I'm going to do a bunch of work, I'm out mowing the fields or doing a bunch of work where I don't need that loader, I can pull this pin on either side of the tractor, and then right here we actually have parking stands for that loader, so you don't have to carry that extra weight around. The other thing I wanted to hit on the side of the tractors is two-wheel versus four-wheel drive. A lot of the newer compact tractors are four-wheel drive. Kind of how you tell that is you look and your rear tire tread and your front tire tread, they'll be the same, they'll be aggressive. On a two-wheel drive tractor, you'll usually have smooth tires up front and then the aggressive tire in the rear. One other thing to look for as you're going through looking for a tractor are the style of tires. These are R4 or industrial tires. They're a very all-purpose tire. They don't mark up the concrete too bad. They have decent traction out in the snow, in the dirt, in the grass. There's two other kinds of tires you'll typically see. You'll see the R1 or traditional ag tires, and you'll see the turf tires that are common on lawn tractors, garden tractors. Those are really good at not tearing up your grass, but not so good in the snow. The ag tires are really good in tough conditions, mud, snow, things like that. So if I had a choice on tires, I would potentially switch to a R1 ag style tire. It's the more traditional tractor tire when you think of a tractor tire. It's a little more aggressive. It gets better traction out in the dirt. We don't have much concrete, really. It's only in the shop. So not tearing up the tread or tearing up the concrete isn't really a problem for us, where traction out in the fields could be a little better with an R1 tire in our application. The one other thing I wanted to mention is the cab. So we have a cab, luckily enough for us, keeps us warm in the winter. But the other thing you'll commonly see on tractors is the rollover bar. It's called the ROPS, or Rollover Protection. And what that is a bar that goes over behind the seat. So if your tractor, should you happen to be in an incident where that tractor rolls over, That bar is actually certified to hold the weight of the tractor and protect you in the seat. It's a very big safety feature, really useful. You never know when you're going to need it, but you'll be happy to have it up. So if you can have that rollover protection bar up, leave it up. The big thing to remember with that is wear your seatbelt. If you're not wearing your seatbelt, you can be thrown from the seat and that bar is not doing you any good. With our cab is certified for rollover protection, just like the ROPS bar. Anytime I'm in that cab in any kind of situation where there is a potential to tip, have that seatbelt on. As we make our way to the back of the tractor, this is probably the area that you're going to be working with your hands the most. We have the PTO down here. So that is what's going to drive any of your implements that need power. PTO stands for power takeoff. That's going to spin the blades on your rotary mower, move your sickle back and forth, run your hay baler. This spins at 540 RPM. Don't stick your hand in it when it's moving, right? Rotating parts. There's the shield here that slides up and down to protect it. So if you're not going to be using that, leave that down. The next feature you've got on the back is your hitch or your drawbar. I've got a ball on there to move trailers around. Otherwise it's a hole so you can drag grain carts, any kind of wagon behind, hay racks behind your tractor. Up here we have what are called your SCVs. You'll hear that in the tractor world. It's called the selective control valve. These actually run hydraulics. So if you have something that needs hydraulics to move, you'll plug in your hydraulic hoses into here, and then there's actually a lever inside the cab that allows you to move that up and down. So this could be a cylinder that tilts a wagon up and down or raises and lowers your brush hog. There's all kinds of different options there. These usually are on the bigger tractors. They're not so much on the smaller compacts, but you can get them as an option. The last big thing, and probably the most common feature that you're going to use on the back of the tractor, is the 3-point. Why they call it a 3-point? 1, 2, 3. 3 points of contact. So that's what's going to hook up on your brush hogs, your sickle mowers, your blades. All kinds of different attachments are going to connect to those. These two lower links are controlled with a lever in the tractor, and then this top link is really just a stability link. And this link also adjusts to adjust your levelness of your implement. We'll talk more about that when we actually have an implement hooked up. Thanks for coming along. Hopefully you enjoyed learning about the different features of the tractor. If you have any other questions, throw some comments down below and I'll get to those as soon as I can. Remember to like and subscribe, and thanks for coming out to Cedar Cove Farms.